So I was subbing in a college class not too many days ago, and this one student was talking about another teacher and said that, you know, somebody said, "Oh, he's a great teacher," and he's like, "Well, he's not the greatest teacher, but he's just like a great person." And I guess the guy gave him $100 because he was needing some cash to stay in college, and he just gave him $100, no big deal, you know. Well, that guy, it won that guy over. And anyways, he carried on talking about how this guy, this teacher, doesn't always stick to the subject. Like he'll go off topic and talk about all kinds of stuff. And I couldn't help but interject. I was like, I have to beg to differ with that, because in 25 years of teaching, I have found that the best way to connect with people, which is what makes them want to listen to you when you teach, is never the subject you're teaching, right? I mean, you stick to math, it's like pulling teeth, you know. As soon as you break away from that, yeah. As soon as you stop talking about math, then they're like, because they're already exhausted of that subject, and then they perk up. They want to hear about whatever it is, motorcycles. Oh, you have a motorcycle, or you play hacky sack, or you almost died skydiving, whatever. And then, because they find you interesting as they hear about your life, then when you switch over to your subject, all of a sudden they're all ears. They're like, I respect this guy. I like this guy. He's a real guy, or gal. And so anyways, he quickly agreed, this student. He's like, well, yeah, you're right, So it's like funny how we, our tendency is to think that, teachers are supposed to stick to the subject, and, they should have, because there's others out there who say, oh, that's not your role. You're supposed to teach math, and that's all you're supposed to do. Well, that's because they don't get what being a professional teacher is. It's about more than the subject you're teaching, especially in like the middle school level. In the college level, it's really hard to even squeeze in anything other than your subject, because the pace that you move at, it's like if you take 15 minutes to talk about life, man, you've almost lost it for the schedule you're trying to keep. But middle school or high school, you're not splitting atoms yet, man. But even in the college level, it's often the amount of gain that you get from sharing a little bit about your personal life goes a long ways with the students. That's my opinion. It's my very strong opinion, because I've taught for 25 years, and that's a quarter of a century. So the next time you are tempted to badmouth a teacher because, they got off topic or something, you're basically admitting that you don't understand how teaching works. You should leave it to the pros, the people who've actually done it. The troops on the ground, on the front lines of education. They can tell you. You're the one taking notes. We're the ones dictating. Peace.